to another episode of Who Am I to Judge Pod. Hello, hello. I am Alexis.
Who am I to judge?
Judge.
I am Samantha. What's up?
Welcome. How are you doing today?
Girl, we have not spoken in a long time. I'm like, Alexis has been dodging me. She been dodging me because she been getting her degrees and stuff. She was out in Austin getting her degrees. So yes, we have a lot to catch up on, my friend.
Yes, we do.
I want to hear about how you are and how your trip went and how you feel.
I'm doing good. Let me think. So this weekend I was in Austin, as Samantha said, for my graduation. It was great. Like, honestly, like, we had good food. The weather, honestly, was, like, very good for Austin, like, breezy and stuff.
Yes, you saw my text that I was like, you guys don't look too hot. Because you were wearing all your stuff and, like, your family had, like, jackets on, and I know you were happy because I know you hate the heat.
It was like breezy, I would say, like 70 something and breezy. So I was really happy about that.
Yeah.
I was really happy about the people who could come. Like Shahani was there, my friend Miguel, Leo, his partner, Adriana. So I was happy about that. Yeah. I was a little bitter, I'm not going to lie, on the day of graduation being like, fucking Samantha is missing this shit. And God. I could say more, but I'm not going to say more because I might in my relationships with other people. But it's just like I was a little disappointed.
I know. I'm so sad that I couldn't be there. Like, for the listeners, I wasn't able to go to Austin, unfortunately. I wasn't meant to go, sadly, because I literally was like figuring out my car situation all weekend. So my car lease was ending this weekend.
So what did you end up doing?
So I ended up buying out my lease.
So you own the car?
So yes, I own the car. My name's on the car. I'll be paying it off and running it, into the ground. It's a 2021 Toyota Corolla. So it was just the smartest thing to do. I thought about getting a hybrid, but yeah. So anyways, I did that. I had to do that. Like, my lease literally ends the day of your graduation. And then, so yeah, trust me, I was sad too. And I was really annoyed because my dad was supposed to help me get me to Austin because, money's a little tight right now. And then I was like, I have to make a hard decision and not go because I need to spend my money on my car. And my dad was just trying to act like he never said he would help me. And I'm just like, whatever. Like, I did it myself. I'm very proud of myself. Like, but yeah, I am sad that I missed it. I'm sorry, Alexis.
Hopefully for the next milestone you shall be there.
Yeah. What's the next one? Like,
I don't have
you getting married or having a baby?
Know.
Like, yes.
We'll see.
But I won't be in this situation forever.
But Austin, so yeah, that was good. And so it was good. Like, I went and got a really nice hat from this store. Actually, like my cousin Ashley wanted a cowboy hat, and so I had like done this research and was like, oh, okay, like there's a bunch of cowboy hats stores on South Congress. Let's just go to South Congress. And so it's funny because before we went to South Congress, I was like, okay, there's this one store called like Moss Frios, I think it's called, something like that. And I was like, it's like very bougie. Like, I was looking at the videos and they're like shaping the hat and it's a suede and it's rabbit and it's like, I was like, yeah, we probably won't go to there. Long story short, we end up at this place, like Ashley and me getting fitted for hats, and they're like, this is like, God. They were like, Beyonce got a couple of hats from here for Carbo Carter. And like, I'm telling you, these are like high-end hats. Like, Ashley's hat start without accessories, without shaping, without like feather and beading, the base was already like $450 for her hat. And then to add on things was like another like $300. And so it's just like, these
Wow.
are like beautiful hats. So my hat was like, I can't do that, but my hat was like 275 base. And then with
Okay.
stuff on it, it got to like 400 or something. But I can't wait to wear it. It's such a
Yeah,
beautiful
I want
hat.
to see it.
And so yeah, we got hats, obviously we did the graduation. I was a little annoyed the weekend for many reasons, but
Why were you annoyed?
I mean, many reasons. I mean, I think one was like it became very clear that okay, so there was 19 of us, right? 19 family and friends. And so
Mm-hmm.
I thought I made it very clear that like I have, I'm willing to do family stuff and we have our 2 reservations for dinner, but I also have other plans. Like I got there early so I could have lunch with my boss. I planned the next day to go to like hang out with some friends the next day. And so I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
very clear, like, these 2 dinners for reservations are the mandatory things. And other than that, have fun in Austin. And so it became very quickly clear that like my family was like looking to me to be like their tour guide for the whole weekend.
Oh my
And
God.
that's what annoyed me because like I was like at like, and it was just like very annoying. I mean, this is just like a quick story, but like when I first like got into Austin, I went to lunch, like I said, with my boss, and I was there and I was getting texts from my mom. She was like, just landed. I'm like, okay, cool, great. Like I'll, see you at the hotel. And she was like, when are you coming to the hotel? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm at lunch with my boss. Like, like I don't think that really matters, like I don't like, I'll get home when I get home. I'm not in a rush. Like I'm not going to rush this time with my boss.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I get out of the lunch, I call her and I'm like, hey, like, I'm leaving lunch now. I'm going to pick up Julia from the airport and then I'll be at the hotel. She was like, well, like, I'm going to just tell you now, people are hungry. And I'm like, then go and find food. Like I was just
Yes,
like,
right.
go and find food. Like we're literally our hotel was on 6th Street, like the middle of downtown Austin. Like you could literally walk a block and find food.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, well, we don't know this place. We've never lived here. You never lived here. Like, we've never lived here. You're the only one who's lived here. So you need to help us find food. And I'm like, why are y'all acting so fucking helpless? Like, we have gone on plenty of
Mm-hmm.
vacations as a family and we figure it out. Why are you acting like now, since I've lived here for 4 years, I must know everything, and you can't do anything.
Yeah,
So I was
right.
like, I'm just leaving lunch. Like, I'm not hungry. Like, y'all figure it out. And there she was like, Alexis, like we don't know where we're going. I'm like, so I'm that little like that moment realized to me like, wow. So for the rest of this weekend, if I
Oh,
don't take them around, they're doing nothing. The fun and experience of Austin like rests on my shoulders,
yeah,
and
that's
I'm just
annoying.
like and I'm annoyed because I'm like it's a lot of people. There's 19 of
Yeah,
us,
and it's a
and so
short
and
weekend,
it's a short
like,
weekend. And at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm the graduate. Like, why am I
right.
like making the itinerary, getting the responsibility of corralling everyone and doing everything plus graduating? Like, I'm like,
Yeah, that's a lot
I
of
shouldn't
people.
have to like do anything, like, And so that basically was the saga of the weekend where it was just like
Oh, I know
I
you
was
were
very
annoyed.
tired and very stressed because
Yeah.
I'm like having to be social with 19 people all day, every day because they can't do it themselves. And then like I said, I was disappointed you couldn't come. I was disappointed other people couldn't come. Regardless of those things, though, like I said, all in all, it was a great weekend. Like I remember leaving me, like I'm so blessed. Like all the people who did show up for me, like I'm very thankful and like happy.
And just know
And
that we wanted to, like, me and Courtney really wanted to be there. Like,
mm-hmm.
if I had my choice, I would have been there.
I know, but the fact of the matter is y'all weren't, and I'm not trying to say that to be mean. It's just like the fact. And so like basically I like,
I
like
know.
that was part of the situation. But
I
regardless,
know.
like I was happy, that I graduated. I was happy with the people that were there because they like, I loved them and we had fun. Like I was so happy to see Shahani, Miguel, and Adriana. Like that was just so amazing.
Yeah.
Um and and Jimmy came and that made me so happy. Jimmy and Kimberly, Kimberly, like there was like people I love. And so it was just like, that was fun. All in all, like, I'm just happy I'm done with UT too. Like FUT,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for the degree, but I'll never, ever, ever go back to you. And now it's just like, get a job. But yeah, like all in all, like you know, my parents were happy. I do think everyone had a good time. And
Did y'all go to the pool at all?
no, because no, we didn't because it was just time is so short in general, but then it's so short when you're with like 19 people. Because, like, it's like
Yeah.
moving
I'm
night.
like,
It's
what
like,
day would you have even done that? On
I mean, we
Saturday
were gonna
after
do it on
graduation?
Saturday after the graduation, but it was just like, I don't know. It's just always like, it's just a hard growing with 19 people. It's like
Heck
we were
yeah.
gonna
I
walk
mean,
through the
and the
park.
graduation's like a big, it's
Yeah,
like
like we were gonna walk
take
through the park, but
pictures
then
and
it's
stuff.
like, oh, we gotta go back to the hotel before we walk to the park. So that takes like an hour off. Then we finally get to the park. Then we have to find parking for 19 people. It's like you just lose so much time. So we
Yeah.
didn't really get to, but it's okay. Like, how are you doing?
Oh, well, now I'm sad that you were sad I wasn't there. I mean, I am doing good. Like, I feel really relieved that I have a car because I was scared that I wouldn't have a car today and I would be having to find a car to buy or figure out that. So that was good this weekend. And my dad and like my dad's side of the family, they had a cookout for the Tauruses in our family on Saturday because we have a lot
Okay.
of Tauruses, like literally like my dad, my sister. My sister's birthday is today. Shout out to Danielle.
Happy birthday, Danielle,
I
sister of
love
the
you so
pod.
much. Yes, she'll be on here one day soon. My sister, like my aunts, like my cousin, like it's just a lot of Tauruses in our family. So we had a little cookout. So that was nice. I got to see my family and Jupiter ended up coming with Callie. And so that was good because I'm trying to get him to be around kids a little bit more too. So that was good for him. And then Sunday was Mother's Day, and I just spent time with my mom, and we like ate some
Yes, Mother's
crabs.
Day.
Yeah, so it was a overall chill weekend, and now I'm just like, today I worked and it was just, I was kind of running around all day, but I feel good. I feel productive. I feel blessed. Like I can't like complain. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I get that.
And I did miss you this weekend because I'm just like, oh, Alexis is graduating. Like, I can't call her today. I can't. I
I
was like trying to do good
know.
about not calling and stuff.
I'm glad because I wouldn't have been able to answer anyway because I was just like, again, dealing with the schedules of
I
19
know.
people plus everything else. But
But now we
no.
know.
Well, yeah, and then but I'm excited because I don't know, like I said, I don't want to like
I
put a
know.
dark cloud over it. Like it was a great, beautiful weekend. So I'm very, very excited. But
Yes.
let's get to it. Let's stop the pleasantries.
Yes. Let's go. Who's on trial, Alexis?
Well, you can always tell me who's on trial too. Like I don't want to
know,
always
but
be
you
the one
got
saying.
this request.
I know, I do. Okay, but over the weekend, a listener of the pod requested that we talk about like doubling back and like kind of like basically like going back to your ex, and she was kind of being like, like, what are your thoughts on like Ashanti and Nelly, and then also just like on doubling back in general. So I'll kind of throw it at you. Like, let's first start with Ashanti and Nelly. And so let me just say, like, sorry, you go first. I guess tell me your thoughts, but unless I can give some background on Ashanti and Nelly as well.
Yeah, give us the background first.
Okay, here we go. So Ashanti and Nelly, their timeline. So, so the two had like gotten together in 2015, and they were
Whoa, I was going to say 2015.
Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. The two sparked romance speculations in early 2003 after connecting at a Grammys event, okay? They played it coy for years, but Ashanti in 2015 confirmed that they were a couple until 2013. So from 2003 to 2013, they were a couple.
Oh, wow.
So for 10 years.
Jesus.
Then they break up. Ashanti and Nelly rekindled their romance in early 2023. So 10 years later, they rekindle in 2023. Now in 2024, they are expecting their first kid together. And I don't think they're engaged, but yes, they're expecting their first kid together. And so it's pretty much interesting because it's like, yeah, they were together for 10 years, they break up. And I feel like That song, the way that I love, the way that I love, the way that I love you. That Ashanti song.
I'm looking at her like, I don't
The
know that
way,
song.
the way that I love. I'm about to tell you the song called "The Way That I Love You."
Blame the singer, like Alexis says.
After all of this time that we tried, I found out that we were living a lie, and that after all of this love that we made, you know this song.
What is it called?
The Way That I Love You. I'm about to play it for you. Hold on, because this is crazy. Yeah. Hold on, I gotta add.
Here, I'll play it.
Wait, I only got 7 seconds.
Hold on, I'll play it for myself.
This is the song. I have it if you're ready.
Okay, yeah, play it.
Hold on. Just give a second. It's a music video. Hold on. It's a lot of talking in the beginning.
Oh, okay, hold on. Okay, yeah. Oh my god, okay, yes. Yeah, blame the singer, because I did not hear that at all.
Okay, so I know that this song is like...
Oh my god, that was like in the back of my memory.
This song I know is like about them and like them breaking up, and like he betrayed her basically. And so yeah, what are your thoughts on like Ashanti and Nelly? Because I mean, it seems like it's successful, like them getting back together. I mean, this time.
So far, yes. I don't want to put a negative whatever, but yeah, I mean, overall, I think, because it's really like reconciling, like reconciliation or whatever, or doubling back or spinning the block or whatever you want to call it. I think that the majority, like I would say like 95% of the time, like that shit's not gonna work. Like I truly do feel that way. Like it usually doesn't work.
Why do you feel that way?
Just like, I mean, like I've definitely have my own personal experiences, but just to like being in the program, being in SLA, like it's definitely like, there's a chapter about reconciliation, and it's just kind of like it talks about just like how rare it is and what would actually have to happen in order to be in a healthy position with somebody that like was just in your life when you weren't healthy, like healthy, like emotionally or whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I have a lot of questions on what you just said, but keep going.
I mean,
sorry.
I mean, I'm like, again, like I would love to think that like, it can happen. And I do believe it can happen. Like for some people, I heard this in a meeting recently. It was like, God is like, it's either like a yes, a not right now, or I have something better. And I really love that, because I feel like that just gives my heart peace. Like,
yeah. What about like, so when you were like in SLA, so Samantha's in SLA, can you like, what does that stand for again?
Yeah, so SLA it stands for Sex and Love Addiction Anonymous, and it sounds a lot scarier than it is. I promise, like, I feel like a lot of the population could benefit from this. It's a 12-step program based off of Alcoholics Anonymous. But yeah, I think our culture really sets us up to be love addicts. Like, like that's the relationship you put above everything else, and you just want love. Like that's like the biggest goal. Like if you have everything and you don't have that, then you feel like whatever. There's tons of ways that this can manifest.
Yeah.
But like through the music and the movies that we watch in our society, like it all plays into this like, love me or I'm gonna die. Like, that's like love addiction.
Look, we just played that song. The way that I love.
Exactly.
But wait, okay, so you said like in SLA you're learning that like true reconciliation is like doesn't happen. You said something like that.
It's very rare. It's rare. It's
what
hard.
Do you mean by that? Like that most of the time when people do make amends, it's not like
most of the time when you go back, it's gonna be the same. You're gonna be reminded why you left. Like, or yeah, honestly, you'll either be reminded why you left, or it'll just be like just doesn't work. Like you left, it ended for a reason, you know?
Sometimes I struggle with like, I don't know, I struggle with thoughts like that because I'm like, I feel like timing is everything. And I also feel like people do change. And so I feel
Yeah,
like I always think
I
about it like
agree.
this, where I'm like, when I think about like people rekindling and things like that, I always think that like it will work when the person is a new person, meaning like you have gone through a season, like for example this situation with Nelly and Ashanti. There is no world where Ashanti is the same person she was a decade ago. She is meeting a new Nelly, and Nelly hopefully is also meeting a new Ashanti. And so it's kind of like two new people dating for the
Yeah, that
first
was a
time.
lot of
And so I
time
guess,
too.
yeah,
You
it
know,
is.
10 years is a long time.
And that's why I'm always like, I feel like when I think about people doubling back, I always am like, I think it could potentially work out if there is a significant amount of period between it, that
Yes.
like they are new
And real
people
work.
and real work, right? And I'm talking
Because
maturity and growth.
things creep up. Like, you
Yeah.
know, like this cheating and stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
that requires real, from what I'm
Healing for
learning, yeah,
sure.
you know, like healing, like really looking deep at yourself and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, understanding your patterns and what makes you do this and what's like your, like for the program, it's like bottom lines and middle lines. It's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
my bottom line is, I don't know, trying to think, cheating on your partner or whatever. Your bottom line is like texting another person. Your middle line is like going to look at their Twitter to see like what they're talking, like, you know, it's like what's like the thing that's getting you to do that. I feel like that takes a lot of examination.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I agree, like timing is real. I just feel like sadly a lot of people aren't really digging deep into the original wound that needs to be healed in order to have healthy longevity relationships. And like and the only reason I say that is because like honestly, and this is gonna sound weird because like I know that, you know, people don't really, if you don't know what slaw is, but it's like if you don't have, like, I feel like if I didn't have this program to like basically tell me what is like it's so hard to describe, but like what is appropriate or like what is like healthy relationships for me, I would be really lost. Like I would be really, I think, just not have any type of I was gonna say recovery, but that's another like slaw word. I'm trying to think how to like describe this. Maybe if you ask me a question.
Well, I
I
mean, I
don't
think what you're
know.
trying to say is that like you said, like a lot of people aren't doing the work and like digging and doing the reflection. You're saying slaw is kind of putting you in the situation to do the reflection. You don't know you would have been
Yes.
doing this reflection had it not been for slaw, and kind of like you could potentially be doing not toxic things, but just like falling back and
Yeah,
having,
toxic
not doing the
things.
work to grow, not grow, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like, and you could think that you're doing it. Like I've been in
Mm.
therapy
Mm-hmm.
for, you know, I've been in therapy for a long time. And it's just like nothing that I've done thus far is like examining it in this way. And it's just an interesting program. Like it's weird to, it's a spiritual program, so it really is hard to describe. Like they said, it works if you work it, you
But
know?
wait, like I get that, and I think I don't know. I think like I don't know. It's just interesting when I think about doubling back because I feel like some people are like absolutely not. You ended it for a reason. But I don't know. I feel like, and maybe this is just like the softy in me, but I'm just like I do think people can change, but I think you're right. It requires real work, and I feel like a lot of people are aren't courageous enough to do that type of work.
Yes.
But when the person is, and usually I feel like time will allow you to do that. Like in a like in 10 years, I'm assuming you have done some type of reflection in that 10 years that has made you, assuming, like I said, that has made you like somewhat different than you were in 2013, that you could like potentially be a better person to date. But I feel like it really is what you're saying. Like you have to be courageous enough to do the work, because in 10 years, if you do nothing, then
in
you're
10
dating the
years
same
if you do
person.
nothing. And I think just for me, it's been like I've had long periods where like I haven't dated anybody, and I was going to therapy, and I was like, okay, I'm healing, like it's time to like jump back out there in the dating pool. And then I kind of realized like, oh no, like this is a little bit more insidious, like what my patterns are when I start to date someone. Like I am not making choices that, you know, I'm not making choices that are good for me, I guess. It's so hard to describe. I want to do one day, I do want to do like a slaw episode, because it's really changing my life and giving me a life. Like, you know, it's I live I'm living like for myself and not like just waiting for like a partner to like complete my life or make me feel like I'm living a full life, you know. And it's hard. Like it does get lonely, but I feel like that's a part of the program. Like the promises are like the loneliness will subside and you'll start to really enjoy your own company, which I have.
So would you ever date an ex?
Honestly, like I would say not any that I've this is gonna sound bad, but not any that I've doubled back before.
Right.
So
But
I
just
wouldn't double back a third time. Like that's like no for me.
even in 15 years, we're 46 and they're available and they
I
come,
just
even then you would say no.
the way that my brain works now, I feel like being in the program, it's very reality based. Like it's not in I try not to be like in fantasy. And so, yeah, I mean, right now it's a no. Like, you know, like I kind of doubt that just because time is passing that especially like, you know, my exes are all men, and I just feel like it takes some real humbling to be in this program. I swear I see the men like really trying, and a lot of the men, you know, have like fucked up their lives. Like, you know, like are trying to save their families and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, yeah, right now it's like definitely a no. It would be if like I reconnected with them and like somehow they literally like are a really changed person, and I would have a plan in terms of like my sober dating plan or like in my recovery that makes sure that I am asking those questions that need to be asked, and I'm not just like slipping back into
What are the
the
questions that need to be
fantasy.
asked?
I mean, I haven't gotten there yet. I don't have a sober dating plan, but just like, how do I feel? Like, literally, how do I feel when I'm hanging out with them, after I'm hanging out with them, before I'm hanging out with them? Am I feeling like, I can't say something to them, or am I feeling like, you know, them not texting back? Because some of the stuff is like on you too. Like if you are anxiously attached, you could be anxious about normal stuff. It's like, oh, okay, they didn't text me back in 3 hours and I'm like freaking out, whatever. But like if somebody is actually being avoidant and like distant and stuff, like I'll just be having a serious like you're paying attention to those things and communicating about it and seeing how that's received, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
just protecting myself, making sure I have a full life, making sure I'm not doing old things that I used to do.
Mm-hmm. No, I
Yeah.
get that. That's interesting. I feel like I would be curious what how like Nelly and Ashanti kind of like repaired, because I'm like, I wonder. I mean, I know
Yeah.
that it ended poorly. Like, I want to say he cheated on her. Like, I like that song was written about him, and so I'm just curious, like, how they were, able to like
I mean,
restart and
that's
repair.
sad that I'm a little bit, maybe I'm a little bit of a pessimist now, because I kind of feel like, you know, it's easy to fall, like it's easy to, you know, you were really attracted to them and you really loved them
Mm-hmm.
then, like, you know, and so
Mm-hmm.
seeing them again is like you want to
Mm-hmm.
do that again, and it's just, I don't know, I just have, it's sad, but I have very little faith that like people are doing this hard work, like for real.
I
For
agree. I
real.
agree. I mean, that's one thing. It's easy to like double back because it's like it's familiar, and like y'all
Yeah.
did have love and you can see it. You
Mhm.
can kind of see it
You
possibly
forget about
working.
all
You
the bad
forget.
stuff a little bit.
Mhm. Mhm. And then you get reminded very quickly. And so it's just like I think you're right. Like doing the hard work is hard, and it's like I feel like usually I don't know. I feel like there has to be a catalyst to doing the work, whether that's like you hit rock
Yeah.
bottom, whether that's something you lost something you really loved or something like that.
Yep.
But like, um, it's not like I'm hoping people go through bad times, but I just hope that like
Shit, I hope people make it
do
into
it.
these rooms, y'all. Like I right now I'm really on this 12-step bandwagon because I haven't seen anything out there that exists like it. It's free. It's like on Zoom. There's meetings all the time. It's like there's community, like literally outreach is like a part of the program. So like you can call really anybody. Like you can put in like a group text on WhatsApp, like, hey, like I need outreach, and you'll talk to somebody. Like it's been like the craziest example of like community, and like almost like the purest example of community that I've seen. Obviously, you know, it's still like humans. So it's like I've heard of just, you know, 13th stepping, which is like people dating inside the program and whatever. But yeah, I haven't seen anything like it, and it is really addressing like the roots. Like, so I do SLAW, which is Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous. I am like more on the love addict side. Um as well as there's like a thing called like social and emotional anorexia,
Oh, is
which
that part of Sex and Love Addicts?
it is, but
Oh, I didn't know that.
it's like kind of a it's like the opposite of like kind of a love addict, but love addicts can go through that. Like I would say for me, I you know, going long periods of time without dating or socializing, like isolating yourself a little bit. And also, I told my sister, like, doubling back is like a sign of, for me, I've noticed of anorexia, because I'm scared of the emotional anorexia, because I'm scared to go out in the world and like meet new people. It's like, okay,
Mm.
this person's familiar, like I'm already attracted to them, whatever. It's like not as
Mm-hmm.
much as a risk,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe subconsciously I know it's not going to work, like I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um
Interesting. So, are there
yeah.
meetings? This is just this is like related, but not like. Are there meetings for social anorexia, or are they? It's
Yeah,
like,
there are.
and does
There are.
anyone talking, or are they
Yeah, and
like
that's
trying to
the
put
beauty
themselves
of
out
it.
there?
That's the beauty of this program, because there's people that understand you. You know, like literally it'll be like, I'm really nervous to share, because we do like 3-minute shares, where you can just like get things off your chest or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm really scared to share, but like I know y'all, you know, you understand. I know y'all understand. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like it's really, you go at your own pace. Like, it's
So
just,
wait,
yeah.
so are the meetings for social anorexia within the sex and love addict meeting, or is it like a
Yeah.
separate meeting?
It's under the Sex and Love Addicts umbrella,
Oh,
but
okay.
it is definitely, and I really appreciate those meetings because it's people that understand that part too. It's not just the like, because there is sometimes when I'm in like the love addiction meetings or whatever, it's like, like I can't get over my ex, or like, like
Mm-hmm.
people are talking about just
Mm-hmm.
like relationships from this person that they're dealing
Mm-hmm.
with. And it's just like, I actually need to talk about like the fact that I'm like, I've been hurt in my relationship. So now I'm just like, I don't want to fucking date anymore. Like, like, or I'm not getting back out there. I'm taking a long time, or I am, yeah, it's really deep. It's really deep. But I was going to say, I do slaw. I do CODA, which is Codependence Anonymous. I also really love ACA, which is alcohol or adult children of alcoholics or dysfunctional families. And the last one that I really like, they have like money programs as well. They have like an under earners.
What's that mean?
So like if you're not making as much as you could, or you just feel like you just kind of come up a lot of like blocks when it comes to like earning money.
Mm-hmm.
Um that's one. They have like a debtors anonymous, like if you're like in a lot of debt. They have tons of 12
They
step
have
programs.
anonymous for everything.
Yes, but I will say I feel like the ACA and like codependence even, and saw like the money like under earners is kind of, they're all kind of related.
I also feel like with doubling, sorry, like this is like kind of related to all the like meanings you're saying, but like with doubling
Mm-hmm.
back, I also feel like it comes from like a more, and I know sometimes it's not that deep, but like a more deeper trauma at times, especially when it's with someone who like is bad for you. And I'm wondering if it's like self-worth, or if it's like
Always self-worth.
or even if it's like, man, the thought just slipped my mind of the other reason. But yeah, like if it's like also just convenience, you don't think you could get any better.
Yeah,
And it's just like
definitely.
that's really sad.
Yes, which is why like,
Or even just people who like are jumping on the first person they date, it's
oh
like I
my
wonder if that's
god,
also like a
it
self-worth
is.
thing. And
It all is self-worth. It all comes down to childhood stuff. Like the way that I have come to understand like why I have these things is because a lot of times as children we don't get the attention, validation, love, acceptance that we needed, like from one of our caregivers, or even in like school or something. Like you're just not and kids need, what I'm also learning is like kids need so much attention. Like
mm-hmm,
they need you to check in with them about
mm-hmm,
like what happened on Monday, and then on Thursday be like, so what happened with that? What happened on Monday? Like you really got
mm-hmm.
to be like tuned into their world, validating them, telling them that they're amazing, and so whatever. And so for me, and this is like, you come to understand that like your parents have trauma, like this is their first time, they're doing the best they can, whatever. But like, yeah, like my dad, he was really there financially, but in terms of like that emotional, just really paying attention to like who I am and all of that, um, he was a little aloof for sure. And so I feel like he, and we call them like qualifiers in the program, was my first qualifier. Like, so I was doing things to like get my dad's approval, like I was doing good in school because that was when I would like get his attention, and just all these different things. And so when you grow up with that, you start to do that in your relationships, like, so you start you start doing that in your personal relationships, and it often shows up in your romantic relationships. But it can show up
So you're
anywhere.
saying in your romantic relationships, you were like doing things to get their approval
I mean,
or like impress them?
I was for sure in certain ways. It's like, it's insidious. Like, this disease can be like insidious and it can be kind of obvious, but like, yeah, like I would just care about, I would, it's like, it's hard to describe. And also, this is what it is. It's that they are doing some of the same patterns that my dad did. So like giving me attention and then going back, like then like pulling away a little bit. And so it's familiar, reminds me of like, you know, when those things were happening in my life, it was like, oh, okay, like you get a lot of, you know, you think you have their attention and then they're like more avoidant or whatever. So it's more so the pattern versus like, I'm like trying to get you to see me or whatever. And it's like, some of that is true. Like you start to realize like, why do I want their validation so much? You know, like, why do I want this person to see me? It's not about that person. It's about your parents, you know, who you really, really want that validation from. And then you learn that like no human on this earth can fill that hole that you have that was like when you were little. No human is
And
capable.
that's a tough lesson to learn. And even not even like from the whole you were little, like no human can feel sorry, that sounded really weird when I said that. Like the whole of anything in your life. You know, whether that's lack of friends, whether that's insecurity, whether that is a trauma from your childhood, whether that is whatever that is, like loneliness, no human can fulfill that. And I feel like that's a tough lesson to learn because I feel like a lot of people are in like relationships or marriages for the sole reason. And yes, they might love the person, things like that. But I think there's something deeper here in the sense that like they also don't want to be alone, or they also like need a partner, like they are codependent. Like, you know, it's interesting.
Yes, it validates their existence. But yeah, I definitely agree. It's like that is a hard lesson to learn. Also, like that you can't control anybody. Like, you know, it's just like there's so many lessons that you like start to get, and then
that is the biggest lesson I learned from my ex. Yes, you cannot control anybody.
You cannot control anybody. And like, you know, that's like, you know, the serenity prayer. Like accept the things I cannot change, have the courage, the wisdom to know the things that I can, whatever. I know what it is. And the courage to know the difference, or the wisdom to know the difference. But anyways, yes, like it's really deep. I definitely think a lot of people are out here, you know, chasing the validation of their parents, you know, and or however it manifests, because it can manifest in a million different ways of like what your parent did. Like if they were overly burnt, like, you know, if they were enmeshed or whatever and just needed your attention so much. Like I know people begin to get a little bit avoidant. But yeah, and it's okay. I feel like some people are just so scared to like say like, you know, my parents might have, you know, didn't, you know, like I have these things, and it's like it's okay. Like your parents, they're doing the best that they can. That's what you come to realize and accept. And then, like I said, it's like a spiritual program. So, and they do have something for everybody. Like you don't necessarily have to, you find a higher power of your own understanding that you start to then rely on to fill those parts of you, you know, and also like, yeah, like fill those parts of you, and just like who you ask. I don't know, like if you need help with your addiction, it's like, okay, I'm powerless over this. That's the first step. Like, but there's a higher power that's able to help me. Like I couldn't do this if I didn't have a higher power, basically.
By higher power, do you mean God, or like what do you mean by
higher power?
I mean,
for me, it's like God, you know, the Most High, the universe, like whatever, like
I would
it's a
love to
higher power
know.
of your own
I would
understanding.
love to know what, like, how atheists or just people who don't believe in any higher power like
Yeah.
go through this program, because they're
Yeah.
having to admit they're powerless, but then they're also like, I don't think there's a higher power.
Yeah.
I'm curious how they find.
I've heard some things, like I've heard like um like with the help of like the community or something, like that they're
Mhm.
able to do that. But yeah, there is a way that they have found a way to like figure out their higher power of their own understanding. But I feel like a lot of people do come in with fractured relationships with God or a higher power. And so it's a beautiful program of like, one of your own understanding. So it's like, did you have like a punishing God, or like, no, like now my God wants me to be happy, joyful, free, like,
Mhm.
it doesn't want me to suffer. Like,
Mhm.
so yeah. And I've seen the miracles of this program. And so I'm just excited.
I
I'm
feel
still a
like,
newcomer.
I know relationships and like are just fascinating to me. I love to like think about them in the context of doubling back, in the context of just being in a marriage, being in a friendship, being like, relationships are so fascinating to me, because I feel like I don't know. I feel like, I've always been an observer, and not that I say I didn't run my mouth. I definitely ran my mouth, but I also like definitely like looked in, like, I always say I have a judging problem. I'm working on it, but like observing
Oh,
people and
I
just
never heard you
making
say
like,
that.
I don't know. I feel like in my mind I've always just been like, I know that I judge and I need to like work on it. But I feel like
Mm-hmm.
coming with judging people has been like a skill of observation, I guess you could say. That's like a good thing of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I have like been able to kind of see little like, I don't know, witness just little things about people in relationships. And I feel like it's just like, I thank God for like my previous relationship, because I feel like I had learned so much about like myself and about like different things that will make for a successful relationship. And like one of them was like trying to control somebody. Like I really feel like you like hit the head of like, you can nail on the head when it's like, you cannot control anybody, and people will make their own decisions, whether fucked up or good, and you just have to accept it.
Yep.
And then also just like, I think you're right with like work. Like people do have to do the work, and if they don't, they're just bound to make the same
Yeah.
mistake. But a lot of people are like desperately codependent, and like will like fall apart without like
Oh my
somebody next
God.
to them, because they're not ready to face the
Absolutely.
mirror. And
Absolutely. And it is
a lot of
hard.
people end
Like,
up in like a lot of people might seem like functioning people because of the fact that they're in a relationship or marriage.
mm-hmm.
However, they are like, if you
Yeah.
were to rip that away from them, they would be like
Oh
crumbling,
my God.
And so and I
Yes.
remember I just thinking to myself when that relationship ended, like, I need to make sure I'm like very good on my own, because like
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be that person, that's just getting into
Yes.
relationship after relationship because I'm insecure with myself, basically.
Yes. And also just like for me, it's like just doesn't live my life up to the fullest because I don't like this is like a small example, but it's a big example in terms of like taking care of yourself even when you don't have a partner. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, my place would be spotless, smelling good. I would be having all my shit taken care of, legs shaved, nails
Why is
done.
your
Like,
legs shaved?
I mean, I like to shave my legs. But like if I had a partner,
Mm-hmm.
my place would be looking real nice,
Right,
but
because you're like
then
on a different behavior with a partner.
yes, and then it's like, but if I don't have a partner, I'm like being a freaking slob. Like, it's just like, no, like
Mm.
you have to do that for yourself. And
Absolutely.
you really have to live for yourself. Like it's just such a yeah, it can be hard, especially when you have those traumas. And I feel like a lot of people, you know, there's people that don't necessarily have this, which is like so interesting. Like I feel like I want to call them like normies or something, but just people that don't deal with this. It's just so baffling to me. I'm like,
deal with what? Just
just
deal with
like deal with just you're just able to relate to people without like thinking about them all the time, or like, just like going into like
drunken
fantasy or
love.
whatever. Yeah, like it's just such a like
I have a
healthily
question for you.
attached.
Saying
Yeah.
we'll end on this question because I need to leave in like
Yes, I need to
15
go.
minutes. But
Mm-hmm.
like again, we love Beyonce, we love Beehive. I just like posing questions that are interesting.
We talk about
Do
Beyonce
you
all the
think
time,
like
y'all.
Beyonce is codependent on Jay-Z, or like
Alexis,
has like
we've
any type
already
of,
talked about
but
this.
what would your, like, after talking about this today, like what are your thoughts on that?
I definitely think that Beyonce would qualify for this program, okay? I think Beyonce is definitely a love addict, and that is okay. I mean, it's like, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, just listening to those lyrics, like, I'd rather die young than live my life without you. Like, there's so many songs
And
that
just
we
like
could
I
talk
feel like the
about.
validation piece, like I'm thinking about Partition, like I just want to be the girl you like, take all of me, like
Mm-hmm.
Jealous, like I
And
feel
you
like
want it from this person. Like, you
yes,
have the world
yes,
loves
you
you.
have
And
the
it's just like,
world.
you need him to
He's on
give
a
it to you.
pedestal. He's on a
Yeah.
pedestal.
Oh yeah. And that's the other thing. You make them your higher power. Like, you care about what they think about you and all of that stuff. And so, yeah, like, yes. And I think it goes back to, and I've talked to you about this, but like back to her dad. Like, she says that her dad was, we know that he was her manager, and that he would never give her that validation. Like, he was just like, you got to keep going. Like, that was great, but could have been better. Like, you know what I mean? So I feel like, and Beyonce's talked about her daddy lessons and daddy issues.
Do you think she's
so
had like, I mean, this is only speculation, we don't know her, but do you think she's had like the reflection of that like, maybe the cheating, maybe like, Lemonade was the reflection. Maybe she's had that reflection of like, I put him on a pedestal, he's done this to me. Like, do you think she's had that reflection of like, I am kind of codependent on him?
I hope so. But again, like, it's easy to not. It's easy to be in the fantasy of it all and not, like, if you don't have to. Like, it's like, I think maybe she has. But I don't know. I just, yeah, I don't know.
This is all speculation. We love you, B.
Beyonce, we want the best for you, okay? We love you, and we want you to be truly happy and not like sad about
Yes. And
some guy.
Ashanti, Samantha has basically said you got some childhood trauma going
No,
on,
I did
girl.
not.
You are insecure.
She could be
And it's
a
not gonna work out.
miracle.
So get a prenup
No,
with that
that's
baby.
not what I said. I said that miracles do happen.
Aww.
You never know.
She just doesn't have faith in men, and I get that.
I just don't have faith that, and not even just men. Again, this is like everybody's dealing with their issues. I think that, I mean, the way, like, being in the program now and then living my life and seeing how many people I feel could qualify for the program is just like, and then how many people that I feel like would actually do this program. It's definitely, and I don't know where else you do this deep work. I'm sure there is other places. I'm sure you could do, I don't know,
I mean, I think people do this
ayahuasca.
every day in therapy. It's just that, like, you have to be courageous enough to look in the mirror with the help, with like yourself and the help of another
therapist,
person,
okay?
right? But like, I feel like there are people. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm saying this because I'm like, I feel like I have done this work. Like, I feel like
yeah,
I
but
have. And
I
so
told you that you were. I think you are pretty healthily attached. You didn't have too far to, like, you were like, you saw it and were like, oh shit, like, I don't need to be doing this again. I don't need to be given another person. I need to make sure that I, like, can be good on my own. And like,
well, I'm just saying, I hope that there are people like that too. And I guess what I'm saying is, like,
there are.
I do have faith I don't know. Again,
I
it could be
do.
just like the softy in me, but I'm like, I believe people can change. And I just feel like, I don't know, like, I feel like, I don't know. It's just interesting. I have a lot of
Yeah,
thoughts
and
on it.
people, I will say, I'll end by saying, like, yes, you can definitely do this program without the program. Like, I think I've seen my friends, like, do some of this work just being guided through, you know, whatever's guiding them, you know? So, like, doing it and not even knowing that they're, like, doing the program a little bit. But yeah, I definitely believe people can change. I see it every day in the program, like people with recovery. And yeah, it just takes some real grieving and crying and writing and you know, really looking in the mirror and not blaming other people. And you know, it's deep, but it's doable, and I think it'll lead to a happier existence. So
I love that.
yeah.
Well, let's end on that note. Please remember to rate, subscribe, comment, and email us your topic discussions.
Yes, you can email us at
Yes.
Who Am I to Judge?
Throw it back at you.
I know. Who Am I to Judge pod@gmail.com. We are looking at our emails, and make sure you follow us too at Who Am I to Judge pod on Instagram and Twitter. Twitter is with the number 2.
The number
But
2.
yeah.
Oh, did you notice? Sorry, this is my last thing. Did you notice I changed my Instagram handle?
No, I didn't. I didn't see that yet.
When you get a chance, go and look at it.
I'm gonna look. Also, just want to say that Kendrick Lamar has me in a chokehold. Like, I listen to Euphoria, Not For Us, Meet the Grams, like every day. It's
Euphoria was like really good. I like put it on my Spotify. I love it.
Have you listened to Not For Us?
Yeah, I listened to it when it came out, but it's not like I'm listening to it on repeat.
Listen again, okay? Listen again, because you started going to, you know, you got busy. You need to listen again. Oh my god! And Alexis, I'm sorry, I just have to say that video that I sent you with like the white guy with the glasses like dancing to it.
Yes.
Like that is you and Miguel in another universe. Like it is the funniest thing in my life.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna put that at the end of this episode. All right, y'all. We're gonna get out of here.
See ya.
See y'all next week.
He a fan, he a fan, he a fan. He a fan, he a fan, he a freaky ass nigga, he a 69 God. Freaky ass nigga, he a 69 God. Hey, 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 run for your life. Hey, 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 run for your life. Freaky ass nigga, he a 69 God. Freaky ass nigga, he a 69 God. Hey, 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 run for your life. Hey, 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 run for your life. Let me hear you say OV ho. OV ho. Say OV ho. OV ho. Then step this way. Step that way, then step this way, step that way. Are you my friend? Are we locked in? Then step this way, step that way, then step this way, step that way.
Thank you so much for listening. Remember to email us your discussion topics at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com. Also, remember to subscribe to Who Am I to Judge podcast on Spotify and everywhere you get your podcast. If you love us, please rate us and review. And if you don't, leave us alone. Tell a friend to tell a friend. See y'all next week. Bye, friends.